Bueno, bienvenidos a una nueva entrevista de Roctámbulos. Esta vez estamos con Michael Wilton, histórico guitarrista de QUEENSRYCHE y demás. Es decir, histórico guitarrista del heavy metal. How are you, Michael?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. And I'm doing excellent since QUEENSRYCHE is going to play in Argentina at Masters of Rock. But QUEENSRYCHE is doing something that for me personally is something like something unique. That is playing the EP and the warning. What were the circumstances that took the band to decide, okay, we are going to play the EP? Because this is something strange.
Yeah, the idea kind of came from a promoter that was promoting a festival in Texas called Hell's Heroes. And he brought up to our manager that, hey, what if Queensryche did the warning in its entirety? So that got us thinking that what if we did this and did a tour of it because it was a huge success at the Hell's Heroes Festival. And, we kind of took a chance with it. But we ended up doing 3 tours of it. It was so successful. And we just got back from Europe and the UK, and it went over amazing over there. So um, for us, it was going back in our past and relearning all those songs and doing a performance that replicated the actual albums. We didn't deviate from the arrangements or anything. We kept the order of the songs in the albums, and it turned out great. It was such a great tour. So we're
And,
really proud of
and,
that.
and how it was to, because you previously said that you had to like to relearn the songs like playing Night Rider or The Prophecy. How did you experience playing those songs and listening to them almost, yeah, almost 40 years ago?
Um, I mean, some of the songs from the Warning and the EP we've been playing live. So, and they're still relevant today. Fans love it. Even casual fans of the band love it. So, but it was the different songs like Child of Fire, Before the Storm, and um, it's a bit tricky, to and to go back and well, for me it wasn't, but for the other guys in the band, they had to basically learn them, and those songs have some tricky musical parts in them, and uh, so yeah, we had to spend some time, rehearsing them and getting them right because you know for me and just going back and trying to uh, listen the way I played when I was 20 years old. It was, it was fun. It's I don't think like that really too much anymore, but it was just going, wow, I wrote some pretty cool stuff when I was a kid.
Do you think that Queensrÿche was like ahead of its time back then?
I don't know. I think it was it was the sum total of the individuals in the band that just the music it worked. It was interesting to us, and you know it just caught on. The fans loved and it was as we were writing when we were younger, we didn't know how it would people would react to it live. And we opened for a lot of great bands, and then it turns out those songs kick ass live. So um, And that's why we're still playing some of them today.
And actually, well, you guys were living together back then, so I guess like when you were rehearsing, it was like going to the gym. It was like following a routine, and you had to when you were in a studio back then, you have like scheduled hours, and you cannot be like today like using Pro Tools or Ableton or something like that. So what how would you describe those years in terms of discipline and having this rehearsing schedule?
Yeah, well, back then, you had what was called pre-production, and that's where the producer came in and you wrote the songs and you finished the songs. So when the time came to go into the studio, you knew what you were playing, you know. There would be some improvisation and some little changes, but for the majority of the song, they were rehearsed in a pre-production so that, because studios were expensive back then. You couldn't, mess around. You had to get as much for your money recording time as possible. So I think now it's different. You have, like you said, you have Pro Tools, or you can go on YouTube or whatever, and um, you can write music and learn it and rehearse it for yourself and but that the aspect of being together as a band and writing and you got to learn your parts, right? You can't mess around, especially in this band, so um I think it's look, when you're 20 years old, your mind is a sponge. You input ideas and you retain it. When you're as old as I am now, it's like you need Pro Tools to document the songs so you don't forget them.
Do you remember if for the EP and for the waiting, if there was like many takes, or if the band like did just like one or two and it was okay, because it was so tight how the band was playing that I guess that it wasn't one or two takes.
It depended on the song, but there were many takes to get it right. Like many, um, the engineer would do punch-ins. If say your performance was, uh, half good, to get the other half, he'd punch in, and you'd get it until it was right. So I think, uh, it was just dependent on the song. Some songs were harder to record than the other ones, and a lot of songs were like, one take wonders, as we called them. Um, but it wasn't like an all day process. It was more like you're you'd spend some time on it, but you'd normally get the take that was going to be in the song finished within 5 or 6 takes.
Good, that's good record. And well, the band is going to be in Argentina after 17 years. Do you remember something about the country? I don't know. Are you familiar with any, I don't know, any Argentinian band or something?
Well, the last time we were in Argentina, we were introduced. Our guide told us, "Oh, you have to have a steak here. The food is amazing." And you know, but the one thing I remember playing is that during our set, the PA, the sound system, went out, and the audience would not leave. They demanded the band come out and play on the stage with acoustic guitars. The owner of the venue was literally calling the police and the riot squad because he thought he might have a riot on his hands. And so that's what I remember about the last time we played in Argentina was we played a bunch of songs acoustically that we would never play.
And now you're playing with Judas Priest, Scorpions, Opeth. How does it feel? Because some bands are kind of new. Let's say like Opeth. It's not new, but uh, and some are classics. Some are legends like Judas Priest. How is it touring with these guys?
It's great. I mean, we've done tours with Judas Priest and the Scorpions, and they're class acts. They've written amazing music and they're great players. So, and for us, they're easy to get along with, and we've it's always great when we get to do shows with bands that I listened to when I was a teenager. So, but anyway, yeah, I mean, it's awesome because they have so many fans, and maybe they don't know Opus, or maybe they don't know Queensryche, but you get to expose your music to a different audience, and that's what's so cool about these.
Okay, so well, I guess that you get along better with Rob Halford talking about music than Michael Ockerfeld. So I know, do you have any tour memories? Yeah, any tour memories that you want to share?
Um, it's just an honor, to play with these classic bands, rock and metal, you know, and to be able to see some of the other bands that are on these festivals. It's great for the fans too. They get to see all this different types of music and a good variety of hard rock and metal. So, but yeah, I don't have anything crazy other, when we're not, rock stars, we're musicians. So it's like we're not too outlandish and crazy. So I think just the fact of being with these guys and touring with these guys, it's for us, it's just been great. Period. There's nothing weird happened.
Okay, yeah, and that's the title. We are not rock stars, we are musicians. So thank you very much, Michael.